Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. Since it's getting closer to Halloween, I've kind of been going through a Halloween phase. And, well, I made a post on Reddit asking which timeline of Halloween is the best. Subjectively, objectively, whatever the right word is, in people's general opinion. And surprisingly, responses have been all over the place. But also, I realized the timelines are more complicated. Like, if you dig into the technicalities, there's actually 20 timelines instead of, like, there's officially 5 because whenever they start a new one, they cut off all the other movies and then you start from, the new movie and go forward. But people aren't taking into account the alternate cuts of different movies. So, and there's other aspects too. So, after my first post, I made an updated post where I took that into account. And then I found out, oh shit, there's more. So I made another updated post. And I ended up with 19 timelines. And someone in the comment section said, oh, this could be one. And I was like, oh shit, I'm not going to make a 4th post just to add one more timeline. Because for some reason on Reddit, you can't edit your posts. You can edit your comments, but not your posts. Unless I'm completely blind and missing the option. I could be blind. But I just don't see an edit post option. So, I now have decided, screw it. I'm just going to make a video and cover all the different Halloween timelines and go over some of the differences between each timeline. Let me just get the list up. Hold on. Pulling it up on my phone. Let me go to my Reddit. View my profile. Come on. There's 20 of them, so of course I'm going to forget. So let me bring it up so I can look at it. There we go. All right. So now you got the premise of the video. Without further ado, let's go over all the timelines. So the first timeline is just the first movie on its own, as a standalone, by itself. Meaning after Michael Myers disappears, after getting shot 6 times, 7 times out of the balcony, that's it. He's gone. Nothing else significant happens in that universe, in that timeline. For all we know, Laurie, could have lived out the rest of her life and died of old age, same with Dr. Loomis. And Michael is either just off somewhere, still killing, or maybe he's just gone dormant and is just gonna maybe never kill again, or just kill every so often. Who knows? Who knows? All that is happening off camera, because that's it for this timeline. It's just the first movie and nothing else. Or maybe Michael kills Laurie off camera after the end of the movie. Who knows what's going on in that? Because we don't know. It's happening off camera. All right, enough rambling. Next timeline. Halloween 1 and Halloween 2, the theatrical cut. Because originally Michael Myers was supposed to be dead at the end of the movie, so we're counting that as its own timeline, where in that universe, Michael Myers did legit burn till he couldn't recover. Presumably he burned till he's nothing but ashes, so he can't just magically regenerate. Same with Dr. Loomis. He's dead in that timeline as well. Sacrificed himself to save everyone. And this is where we establish that Michael Myers and Laurie Strode are siblings. In the first movie by itself, we can assume they're not. Now, the timeline number 3, Halloween 1 and Halloween 2, the television version, which added in a whole bunch of extra new scenes and gave Laurie a happy ending, where the paramedic guy that she was crushing on throughout the whole movie and vice versa, we actually see them together at the end. Happy ending. Presumably, in the theatrical cut, that doesn't happen. So that's an alternate timeline. There's also other stuff in the television version that I don't know if it really affects the timeline too much. So I'm not sure, because I haven't seen the television version. I only know this from Google. The television version is hard to find. I just know that the paramedic guy, I can't remember his name right now, is alive. In the original cut, it's unclear if he survived or not. For all we know, he just passed out in the car and could have woke up later, or he could have died from head trauma. We don't know. But either way, same thing happens. In the theatrical cut, presumably they don't get together, because if he did survive, Laurie got taken away at the end of the movie by another ambulance, probably before he woke up, and they probably never seen each other again. While in the television timeline, they do meet up again and happily ever after. Next timeline is Halloween 3 by itself. It's a completely alternate universe, where the first Halloween movie exists as a movie in universe. Now, game theory suggests that maybe the movie in universe is a movie based on a true story. That could be it, but I doubt it. I doubt it. So, in that timeline, presumably, the movie ends before we get to see what happens, but presumably the third channel doesn't cut off the commercial, and a huge chunk of people die. Not everyone. Surely not everyone in the world or everyone in America, because not everyone is going to buy those masks. Not everyone. Plus, not everyone's going to be watching TV at the same time. Plus, different time zones. I think, was it Dead Meat, the kill count? Yeah. I think James A. Denise pointed this out in his kill count video about Halloween 3. How the different time zones don't work. So one time zone gets to see it first, so then the other time zones are going to hear about all the people dying. So presumably only like a portion of America die. The rest are probably fine. So that's what's happening in that timeline. The next timeline, and this one is not in my post. This one someone pointed out in the comments. That apparently the next timeline is Halloween 1, Halloween 2, the theatrical cut. One more thing about the television cut of Halloween 2. I looked it up, and it says it's not canon. Meaning, I'm not going to have two alternate versions of each timeline, one with theatrical, one with television cut of Halloween 2. Because the television cut of Halloween 2 was never meant to be canon to begin with, so they're not going to tie it in. So, yeah, I'm not making two different alternate timelines like I did for the two cuts of Halloween 6. But back on track. So the next timeline number 4, is Halloween 1, Halloween 2, the theatrical cut, and Halloween 4, the return of Michael Myers. At the end of that movie, we see Michael get, shot up and fall down a hole, which would not end him. It would not. But at the beginning of the next one, they throw dynamite down there, which they did not show. So why the hell they must have added that in just because people complained that wouldn't take him out. But since in this timeline Halloween 5 doesn't happen, I'm going to say for this one, they literally just shot him down a hole. And then Jamie kills her stepmom, or adopted mom. They retconned it in the next movie that she didn't die. She was just stabbed, but she survived. But again, Halloween 5 not canon in this timeline where it stops at 4. So this means Michael probably crawled up out of that hole eventually. But also, Jamie is a killer too, just like Michael. Either because the evil got transferred to her when she touched him, or because they're related here. Maybe it's just in the genetics, it's in the blood. Or maybe a mix of both. Who knows? But in this timeline, presumably, Jamie is now like Michael. And that's it. That's where that timeline ends. That world, there's probably just two killers running around. Maybe they'll try to kill each other. Maybe they'll work together. Probably not. Or maybe. Kind of Halloween Ends kind of thing, where Corey and Michael are killing kind of together, but also not really. They're just kind of killing at the same time. They just happen to be near each other. I'll get into that later. The next timeline is Halloween 1, 2, the theatrical cut. I guess I don't need to say that every time now, because I made it clear it's going to be the theatrical cut every time, and it's going to get tiring if I keep saying that. So from this point forward, I'm not going to say theatrical cut anymore, because we know the television cut is only one timeline. So the next timeline is Halloween 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6, the theatrical cut. So in this timeline, at the end, even though the cult of Thorn was established here, people complained that ruins Michael. That makes Michael not, scary, because now he's just a puppet, a drone for this cult. So for the theatrical cut, after they got backlash from the producer's cut, they reshot and had him kill his own cult members near the end of the movie, seemingly out of the blue for no reason, which is more like Michael. Michael would not follow. Michael would not be no puppet. But it also ruins the plot of the movie, because it doesn't make sense for him to be turning on his cult members. They're all supposed to be on the same side, unless the cult of Thorn is a bunch of BS, and Michael wasn't killing his whole family because a curse was telling him to do it. He was just doing it, but it's neither here nor there. Point is, in that timeline, I'm going to assume in that timeline / universe, even though the cult do appear to have some supernatural powers, so there's some supernatural force going on, the actual cult, the actual curse itself is BS. Michael's just killing for killing, like Michael should. So that's why he turns on his cult members at the end. And after the end of the movie, presumably he kills Dr. Loomis off screen, and who knows where Michael is and what he's doing now. Just like how he kept coming after Jamie, he may still keep coming after that baby. So Tommy and the rest of them may just have to be on the run forever. Don't know for sure. Probably never know for sure. Michael could still be out there, occasionally showing up whenever that Thorn constellation shows up in the sky for some reason. Even though, since in this version the cult curse is probably BS, but it does seem to line up with his sporadic showing up. First in 78, and then he was absent for 10 years, came back the next year, but then was gone again for several more years, till Halloween 6. So maybe he is popping up when the Thorn constellation shows up, but I don't understand why, if the curse isn't real in this version, and Michael's just being Michael, but that's neither here nor there. Next timeline. It's the same one, but instead it's the producer's cut, meaning all the cult stuff with Thorn is in fact real. And Michael is in fact just a drone, controlled by the cult, and he is stopped when Tommy does a little ritual with the runes on the ground. Then Michael and the Man in Black switch places, and then Loomis gets given the curse. What does this mean? Okay, what does this mean? Michael didn't finish killing off all his family. He still has the baby. His job isn't done. Why'd the curse get passed on to Loomis? And does Loomis even have any family alive left to kill? Does he have any living relatives? Or is he just... Does that mean he's part of the cult now? Is he going to be the new Man in Black, controlling Michael and sending him to do his stuff? I don't get it. And both versions of the movie suck. Some people prefer the producer's cut. Some people prefer the theatrical cut. And I have only seen the theatrical cut. I still haven't seen the producer's cut, but I've seen footage and I've seen so many people talk about it. I've seen so many reviews. And I think some things about the producer's cut are better than the theatrical cut, and vice versa. Like making Michael Myers not just a drone, a puppet for this cult, and have him still be himself, just killing for no apparent reason, including turning on his own cult members. That's more like Michael. So the theatrical cut kept Michael's character more closely accurate. But the producer's cut makes more sense as a movie. The plot actually feels like a real plot and whatnot. Plus, it's like more atmospheric and has all this. Just watch the cut comparison from Dead Meat, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So, to pick your poison, most people say producer's cut's better, but the theatrical cut doesn't have the Michael incest plot. So, I guess one difference between the two timelines is in one, the theatrical timeline, the baby isn't from Michael. Where it came from, who knows? They have all this laboratory and baby fetuses at the end to maybe hint that it's like a test tube clone baby or something. But it still doesn't make sense. Why would you make a new family member just for Michael to kill? Jamie's the last one. Just kill her and be done. I don't get it. And Michael fails to kill his family year after year. And yet he's just... The curse never goes through. The whole tribe never all dies. Which is more proof that it's BS. So what the fuck is going... And plus, in the producer's cut, Jamie survives the barn. Instead of getting killed on farming equipment, she gets stabbed and survives till she makes it to the hospital, where the man in black kills her, saying, she is no longer needed. Her work is done. Isn't it supposed to be Michael that kills them? Isn't it? Isn't that the whole point? Doesn't that, fuck up the whole thing? No? Yes? Maybe? Laurie died in an off-screen car accident in this timeline. Wouldn't that fuck it up? Because isn't it supposed to be Michael? I don't get it. I don't get it. So basically, the differences between these two timelines is Michael in the main timeline is not a puppet to this cult. He's still himself. I guess he was just going along with them till the time was right for him to kill them all. Whenever that time is right is. Who fucking knows how Michael Myers' mind works? And in this timeline, Jamie's baby is not incest Michael baby. In the producer's cut timeline, Michael is indeed just a puppet to the cult, controlled by the forces of the whatever gods. And Jamie's baby is indeed an inbreed baby. Michael, you sick uncle fuck. But moving on, getting away from those timelines. Jesus. Next timeline. Halloween 1, Halloween 2, and H2O. Now, initially, they did plan for a sequel to H2O. So the whole paramedic swap scene was actually they did plan that from the get-go. That wasn't a last-minute retcon. But Jamie Lee Curtis herself insisted they alter it, so that way, if you want, you could see H2O as the end. So that's why I count it as its own timeline. The person who said 4 and stopping at 4 counts as its own timeline said because when they made Halloween 4, they didn't plan for Halloween 5. They made it because 4 did well. Meanwhile, H2O and Resurrection were always both planned. So I shouldn't have counted 1, 2, and H2O as its own. But screw it. My list. It's my what I'm making here. I do whatever I want. But I did take his, stop at 4 as its own timeline thing. Rounding it up to 20 timelines. That's neither here nor there. So in this timeline, Jamie and everything from Halloween 4 through 6 doesn't exist. No cult of Thorn. Laurie, didn't have a daughter. She did, quote unquote, die in a car accident, but that was a fake. She faked her death so she can change her identity to try to possibly get away from Michael. But other than that, yeah, everything from the other movies is just not canon here. It's not real. Instead of a daughter, she has a son. Michael's MO and the way he works here is different. Instead of showing up whenever that thorn symbol shows up, now he seems to show up whenever a family member turns 17. That seems to be his new thing here. And at the end of the movie, Michael gets beheaded. That's it. That's the end of this timeline. Closure. Laurie finally beat her boogeyman, and the monster has been slain forever. And that's that timeline. Happy ending. No speculation on where Michael could be now or what happened off camera. We know what happens off camera in that timeline. Michael's dead. Laurie and her son live out the rest of their lives happily, and no more terror from Michael Myers. Boom, done. But then we get to the next timeline, which is Halloween 1, 2, H2O, and Resurrection. The dreaded and hated Resurrection. We know what happens here. Turns out Michael switched places with a paramedic, and then he kills Laurie off at the beginning of the movie. And I don't need to go through the whole movie. We all know it sucks. But at the end of the movie, Michael gets burned and everyone presumes him dead until he wakes up in the morgue. Cut to black, end the movie. Now, there was a script for a 9th Halloween movie, but that never got made. So I'm not using that as canon to say what happened after this movie. So what happened? Now, since Michael, his only goal after, besides killing his family, is to just go to his house and stay there and not be bothered. And maybe come out every so often to kill around Halloween, or just kill anyone who comes into his house. What is he doing now that his house burned down? Or did it not get completely burned down? Did it only get partially burned down? I'm pretty sure the movie implies that it's completely burned down. So now that Michael's base of always wanting to go to is gone, because in the first movie, when he escaped the clinic, he went straight to his house. In the newest timeline, the 2018 timeline, that's all he wanted to do was go to his house. And in this one, after he kills Laurie at the beginning and his work is done, quote unquote, he didn't kill his nephew, but whatever. He goes to his house. So what is Michael going to do in this timeline now that his house is burned down? Is he just going to remain in the sewer underneath the burned down house, or is he going to go somewhere else? What's going to happen? Well, the script for the never-made movie says he would stay in the now abandoned, closed-down sanitarium, where he was locked up for 15 years, which I guess could make sense. He was there for a good chunk of time, so that would be like another home to him. So I guess maybe if one home gets destroyed, he would just gravitate to the next, I guess. But I think, no, I don't think so. That house is his home, and that's the only thing he knows as home. And it's gone. Either, like I said, he's going to stay in the sewers and occasionally come out every so often to kill. Or maybe he'll just be like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and just be a wandering homeless guy, killing whenever. Who knows? Who really freaking knows? The things are unclear with this timeline. So now, moving on to the next theoretical timeline. This is what I thought when I was younger, when I was watching these movies. I didn't know that sequels could just ignore each other. I didn't know that was a thing. So when I was younger, I thought somehow, 4, 5, and 6 were still canon to, 7 and 8. And apparently some people online figured out a way to make it work and make it make sense. Because in the Halloween 4 timeline, Laurie died from a car accident, and in H2O it says she faked her death using a car accident. But this one implies she abandoned her daughter, but kept her son, meaning she played favorites with her children and basically let the other one die, which makes Laurie a horrible person, which is why I prefer to pretend 4, 5, and 6 aren't connected to H2O, but some people figured out a way to make it work, saying that she possibly escaped and got away from her daughter, thinking Michael was still coming after her specifically, so she thought separating herself from her daughter would keep her daughter safe. But that still wouldn't explain why she kept the son. And depending on the timeline of stuff, she had them both around the same time, closely. Like in it's implied she got pregnant at 17. That's when she was pregnant with Jamie. And then in H2O, her son is, she got pregnant at 19, meaning they're only like 2 years apart. So when she faked her death in the car accident, she left her daughter, but kept the son? For some reason? Some people have said the reason why she didn't leave her son, like she left her daughter, is because sometime after she, calmed the hell down and started to chillax and think Michael isn't coming, that it would be okay for her to keep the son because she assumed maybe it's safe. Like she didn't need to get away from him anymore. Like she thought she needed to get away from her daughter. That's something someone said in the comment section of the Reddit post I made. But in the movie H2O, she's still clearly, worried about Michael, so that's not entirely true. Possibly what happened is when she faked her death in the car accident, she just so happened to also have her son there, so he got to fake his death along with her, and it was just a whoopsie that Jamie just happened to not be there. Maybe she wanted to fake the whole family's death, but due to bad luck and circumstances, Jamie just got left behind, which is sad, but oh well. Regardless, that's this version. So Laurie basically just accidentally abandoned her daughter, and now her daughter's dead. But she still has her son. Yay. And the next timeline is the same thing, except it's the theatrical cut. So basically 2 versions of the same timeline. So Michael is going after Laurie and her son in this timeline of H2O because of the Thorn curse still. So after he switched places with the Man in Black and Loomis got the curse, Michael is still cursed and going after his family because the curse is telling him to. And what about Loomis? Well, in this movie, they established at the beginning he died. But is it possible in this timeline he didn't die? Because he has the Thorn curse, he faked his death so he could go fulfill the curse or try to do something. Or did the curse get passed to him, but then he died not long after due to old age and whatnot, or due to something else? I don't know. I don't know. This trying to connect 4, 5, and 6 to H2O and Resurrection can work, but it's convoluted and it has a lot of holes and it's a stretch, but it can be done, and some people stand by it. I don't know why they can't accept that it's just an alternate timeline. Like, they accept 2018 as a complete separate. Why can't they do the same thing with H2O? I don't know. But then here's where we get to the next one. Originally, my first post on Reddit, I just had the Rob Zombie duology as its own thing and kept it at that, just simple. But it's now been split into 4 different timelines. So let's start with the first. Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 by itself, because initially Rob Zombie didn't want to make a sequel. And we're going with theatrical cut first. So, in this timeline, Michael escaped the sanitarium by breaking out when they were transferring him and killed a lot of fucking police officers. And at the end of this timeline, when Laurie shoots him in the head, that is actually it. He's dead. Loomis might be dead, since they didn't plan to make a sequel, and he seemed pretty dead. Michael kind of killed him, sort of. That's neither here nor there. That's that timeline. The next timeline is Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 by itself again, but it's the director's cut, where in this version, Michael escaped because 2 douchebag employees decided to rape someone in Michael's room. Assholes. And that's a questionable choice. Rob Zombie, what the hell? I like the breaking out and killing all the cops one better. What the fuck? But still, at the end of this, he gets killed by Laurie at the end. The shot to the head did actually kill him. He's gone. So, in both versions of this timeline, regardless of if he escaped by killing cops or escaped by rape, it's a weird sentence to say, Laurie killed him, and presumably after that, Laurie would probably have PTSD of some kind and survivor's guilt, something along those lines. But I would say we don't know, but we do kind of know, because in Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, both versions, we see her recovering and whatnot, and she's not doing well. Even before she finds out Michael's alive again, she just knows she's fucked. But in that one, Michael's really dead, so I ain't gotta worry. Maybe after a few years she'll eventually recover. Now, the next timeline is the Rob Zombie's, Halloween duology, the theatrical cuts. Meaning, the theatrical cut of the first one where he broke out with the cops, but he doesn't die at the end when Laurie shoots him in the head. Somehow he survives. I should say somehow. It's Michael, of course he's not going to die, but this is Rob Zombie's Michael. Originally he was supposed to be dead. That's neither here nor there. And this timeline, second movie only takes place 1 year after the first one instead of 2. And Laurie actually starts out as mostly okay, but she slowly relapses. While in the director's cut, no, she's a mess from the beginning. She never recovered. She's a mess and she stays a mess. Also, different endings. In this timeline, Laurie lives. She just probably gets put in a mental institution at the end. Next timeline, the director's cut of the 2 Rob Zombie movies, she's dead. It takes place 2 years after the first one. She never fully recovered from her BS, and she was just awful throughout the whole movie. And then at the end, all 3 of them die. Loomis, Michael, and Laurie all die. And I don't know, there's something satisfying about seeing all 3 of them dead. Like, it brings true closure or something. I don't know how to describe it. She's dead. So in one, she lives. The other one, she dies. Now, the next version of the Rob Zombie timeline is the one where the theatrical cut is canon and the director's cut of Halloween 2 is canon. Meaning, Michael escaped from murdering a bunch of cops, and Laurie, it takes place 2 years later, and she never recovered from her trauma. And then she dies at the end. Next timeline is, director's cut of Halloween 1 and the theatrical cut of Halloween 2. So Michael escaped because of rape. 2 takes place 1 year after 1, and Laurie was recovered but relapsed, and she lives at the end. There we go. Damn, it was so simple the first time. It was just 2 movies, done. But it had to be split into 4 different timelines. Next, Halloween 1 and Halloween 2018, otherwise known as H4O by the fans. But I'd say 2018. I think that's easier to say. In that timeline, presumably Michael does burn up in the house, and that's it. Oh, and they're not siblings anymore, obviously. As for whether or not Laurie survived at the end, like she made it to the hospital in time and lived, or if she bled out in the truck, who freaking knows? Could be either one. Also, they were maybe hinting that I forgot her name at the moment, Laurie's granddaughter holding the knife, the camera zoom in, might be implying that she could be the next killer. They did that with Jamie in 4. They did try to do it with Danny in 6. They keep trying to do that, and it's not. In the scrapped script for the sequel to Resurrection, Laurie's son was supposed to take up the mantle. And then in Halloween Ends, Corey. So why do they keep trying to pass the buck? People just want Michael, but maybe that's not what they were implying with that ending. I don't know what they were trying to do with the knife shot, but regardless, who knows what happens at the end of that one. Presumably, Laurie does make it to the hospital and live, because she does in the next movie. So presumably the same things would play out. So, the next timeline is Halloween 1, Halloween 2018, and Halloween Kills. Now, initially, my first version of my Reddit post, I just had 1 in 2018, and then I had 2018 Kills and Ends. I thought Kills and Ends are always supposed to go together. But apparently, they did initially think, yeah, let's stop it here too. Let's have it end at Halloween Kills. But they had enough material to work with from the second movie that they could make a third one. This is all according to Dead Meat. So I was like, well, I'll be damned. Okay. I guess, alright, that's another timeline. So in this timeline, fucking Michael lives. Michael kills Karen, and that's it. He disappears. And then the events of Halloween Ends don't happen. So what exactly happens in this timeline at the end after all this said and done? Well, maybe Michael ran off to the sewers like he did in Ends. It's just the whole Corey story from Ends doesn't happen here. Or maybe after the heat dies down, Michael does come back to his house. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe he still occasionally comes out and kills every so often. But the town would be on high alert after what happened in these movies, so they would obviously catch him. He would have to remain dormant for a long time for them to start to lower their guard. Like maybe another 40 years. Which would be crazy. So, who knows? Maybe Michael just does, because in this timeline he did stay locked up for 40 years. Michael can go dormant for so long without needing to kill again or having the urge to kill again. It's crazy, the restraint he has for a killer. So if he did it once, he could probably do it again. He may just stay in his home and just wait, biding his time, waiting to strike again. Who knows? But now we get to the last timeline, which is Halloween 1, Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends, where he is, in fact, definitively killed. I don't think the throat slit and the wrist cut did him in. I refuse. That's not Michael. Michael could get up from that. I think he was, just like how he got burned at the end of Halloween 2 and then was in a coma for 10 years because his regeneration ability needed time to fucking recover, grow back his eyes and grow back his skin. I think maybe the throat slit and the wrist cut, he was probably just, in a coma. And if they gave him enough time, his body would have regenerated all the lost blood and whatnot. That's what I think, because I refuse to believe Michael is just a man. Because the whole franchise is built on the fact that Michael isn't just a man. He's literally the embodiment of evil itself. That's the whole thing. So I refuse to believe Michael is just some guy, But that's just me. But they do definitively kill him here. But I don't think the throat slit and the wrist cut did it. I think it was the car crusher, the car shredder. That's what did him in. Because you can't regenerate from that. Can't come back from that. The reason why he had to switch with him and the paramedic in H2O is because he knew he couldn't survive something like a beheading. Death Battle even covered that. So, yeah, just completely atomize him. Like, disintegrate him. Just like Dragon Ball Z says. A regenerating entity, you gotta destroy every last molecule of them so they can't regenerate. There'd be nothing to regenerate from. Michael probably would work the same, so fucking flush him. So in that timeline, after he killed, Karen, he disappeared. I guess, he couldn't stay in his house because they would catch him again. So he dipped out and decided to hide in the sewers randomly. And then the town went crazy after Michael because obviously they fucking would. They started turning on each other, blaming every miscellaneous death on Michael. Started falling apart, attacking each other. It was horrible. And they basically made Corey into the monster he is. I stand by Corey. I know by the end of the movie, he was past the point of no return, basically, and he kind of needed to die because he was gone. But I feel Corey early on in the movie definitely was not lost yet. He wasn't a lost cause yet. And the town turned him into what he is. I blame the town. Poor Corey. Poor Corey. Oh well. It is what it is. I could talk about the two alternate, endings for the film that never got, made. I mean, I think they filmed part of them, but neither of them were the ending they went with. I could count those as alternate timelines as well, but no, I'm only counting the stuff that was made. That's why I'm not talking about that scrapped script for a 9th Halloween movie. So that's it. It's the whole timeline. Oh wait, I will talk about the alternate endings, but I'm not counting them as official timelines because they never got released. They're not put on film. There's not alternate cuts of the movie that exist yet that have those alternate endings. But one, Corey does get redeemed. He, I don't know how, since he did kill all those people. Maybe they just blamed all the kills on Michael, and then Corey got to walk away scot-free. Now vowed to not kill again because he rejected the evil. I'm not sure how they redeem him, but it was an ending, and I would have liked to see that one. The other alternate ending where Corey just fully accepts the fact that he's the monster now. He's the killer. And I would have liked to see that one too, because I actually was interested in Corey. I actually felt for him, and I would... It's kind of like how I feel bad for Jason. Jason is a big, hulking, murderous monster, killing machine. But you feel a little bad for him. Because he was bullied, and then he drowned, and he lost his mama, and he's... same thing with Leatherface. Leatherface is a child trapped in a man's body. He's disabled. Special needs is not politically correct anymore. The R slur is, even though people are starting to say it again, I'm not going to. Because there's a reason why it was not okay to say for the longest time, and those reasons still stand. I've had the R slur used on me, so I'm not going to say it no more. But basically, that's what Leatherface is. He's one of those. And he's being abused by his family. They're abusive to him. And he's only killing because they're making him. He doesn't know no better. He's a big child. So Leatherface you feel bad for. Jason you feel bad for. Freddy, not really. I mean, he was bullied, but that's only after, he killed the class pet. Sick fuck. And then Michael is literally supposed to be the embodiment of evil himself. You're not supposed to humanize Michael at all. You're not supposed to feel for him at all. Which is why the Rob Zombie movies, they missed the point entirely. That's neither here nor there. The point is, I felt for Corey. So whether or not he gets redeemed or I see him become the next killer, I would have liked that. But instead, what we actually got in the movie, he offs himself. Well, tries to, but then Michael finishes him off. Such a waste. If you're not going to give us a Michael killing, like Michael was there and he killed a few people, but it was mostly the Corey movie. And if you're going to do that, at least have the courtesy to, not end Corey at the end. Or at least not end him in a way that's so definitive. Like maybe have him end, but then he's like not dead. Pull a Michael and just get up and walk away. Like, if you're going to do that to us and have Michael barely be in his own movie, and then at least have the courtesy to actually go through with what you're setting up and keep Corey around. Otherwise, you just robbed us of a Michael movie for no reason, you know? People come to Halloween to see Michael. That's why people didn't like Halloween 3. And people didn't like, the idea of Jamie taking over or Danny taking over. And like none of that. They just wanted Michael. But that's neither here nor there. Point is, that's all the timelines for now. And that's 20 Halloween timelines. Whew. All right. This has been a long video. This is me pacing back and forth in the kitchen. I thought about doing this while on a walk, but it's been raining here, so oh well, it is what it is. I just need to get all that off my chest after learning about all the different freaking Halloween timelines. I just needed to. I need to make a video about it because I was hyper fixating on it so hard. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Not sure how many people are going to watch this. My Halloween Ends review has been out for like 2 days and it has 0 views. So I got a whole bunch of new subscribers, like 287. But most of you guys aren't watching my longer stuff. It seems like you're only here for my shorter stuff. Which I guess is fine. My video about the 3-legged toad got over 600 views. Oh no, it was over 1,000 now. I think. I need to double check. But hey, maybe if I'm lucky, someone will watch this. I'm still looking for an editor if someone wants to be an editor for me. I could just record a video or just record audio and then you can like edit pictures on there. Make it a higher quality video than just me talking and walking around. And I can work out a deal. Freelance editor, not a full-time editor. Till my videos, if they do start doing good enough, I could become the next Dead Meat. I could, but I'm not holding out hope. But hey, can't stop a guy from trying, right? Anyway. That's about it. See you guys next time. Peace. Wait, is it a good idea to show a knife? Probably not. YouTube probably not going to like that, but I figured it'd be fitting for a Halloween video. Michael Myers Halloween, not the actual holiday Halloween. You know what I mean. I thought it would be fitting, but I just realized that I might get my video blocked. And I don't think I can edit it out, so I just won't end with it in frame. See you guys next time. Peace.